From the music that pops up on your phone to the route your map app picks for you, AI is, well, it's everywhere. It's quietly shaping pretty much our entire digital lives. But what happens when that intelligence doesn't feel very intelligent at all?
Come on, we have all been there. You ask your smart assistant a super simple question and it gets it completely wrong. Or your social media feed is just clogged with stuff you have absolutely zero interest in. It's that kind of frustration that makes you think, is this whole AI revolution really what it's cracked up to be?
And look, this isn't just some minor annoyance we're talking about. Researchers over at Microsoft actually found that when these AI systems fail, the consequences can be pretty serious. Bad design doesn't just create stuff that's unhelpful, it can be genuinely disruptive and confusing. The stakes here are incredibly high. See, when users get confused or lose confidence, they don't just get mad, they often ditch the technology completely. And that is a huge, huge problem for anyone trying to build AI products today. So, what if there was a playbook for getting this right? Well, there is. A team at Microsoft actually made one. They sifted through more than 150 different recommendations from all over academia and the tech industry and boiled them down into 18 crystal clear guidelines for human AI interaction. So, let's dive in. So, the researchers broke these guidelines down into 4 stages, starting with that very first time you interact with an AI. And just like with any new relationship, that first impression is all about setting clear, honest expectations. Now, what's really fascinating here is this subtle but super important difference. Guideline 1 is all about telling the user what the AI can do. Simple enough. But guideline 2, that's about communicating how well it can do those things, including, how often it might just plain get it wrong. It's the difference between saying, I can recommend music versus saying, I can recommend music, but my taste isn't always perfect. And this example just nails it. The study pointed to a music app that used this really simple language like, we think you'll like this. That tiny change in how it's phrased manages your expectations. It's basically the AI telling you, hey, I'm giving it my best shot, but I might be off here. Okay, so once you've set those expectations, it's all about the day-to-day interaction. The researchers have this great way of framing it. They call it a dance. A good AI partner has to be aware of the context, be responsive, and, not be socially awkward. And the rules for this dance are actually pretty intuitive. A good AI partner should pop up at the right time and show you relevant things. It should also act in a way that feels, well, socially normal. And this is a big one. It absolutely must work to fight against harmful stereotypes and biases. And this is where the stakes just become so incredibly clear. The study captured this really powerful quote from a user whose photo app completely failed on that guideline about social bias. It's just a stark reminder that when AI gets this stuff wrong, it can create experiences that are genuinely offensive and make people feel totally alienated. All right, but let's be real. Every dance partner stumbles sooner or later, and every single AI, no matter how smart it is going to mess up. So this next set of rules is all about recovering gracefully and giving you, the user, control when things go wrong. Good design puts you back in the driver's seat with 3 simple abilities. You should be able to easily ask the AI for help, easily ignore it when it's being unhelpful, and easily correct its mistakes. It all comes down to making sure the human is always, always in charge. But out of all the rules for what to do when things go wrong, the study found there's one that today's AI products break constantly. It's Guideline 11. Make clear why the system did what it did. In other words, most AIs are just terrible at explaining themselves. And this quote from a user just captures that frustration perfectly, doesn't it? When a shopping site recommends something totally random, you're just left confused and maybe a little suspicious. Without any explanation, the AI just feels like some mysterious black box that's trying to get you to buy stuff. So, the final stage is about the long game, the long-term relationship. A truly great AI shouldn't just be static. It should be learning, adapting, and kind of evolving with you over time. Now, to grow smarter, an AI needs feedback, and the researchers highlight 2 really important types. You've got that granular, in-the-moment feedback, like marking a single email as important. And then you have the global controls, those big picture settings where you can customize how the AI behaves overall. You really need both for the AI to learn the right way. But that learning has to be handled with care. As this user's experience shows, when an AI adapts way too aggressively, a single accidental click can just throw everything off and create this really jarring, unhelpful experience. A good AI learns, but it learns gently.
So, what's the takeaway here? We've basically just unpacked a super powerful playbook that can help any of us understand what makes AI feel intuitive and helpful instead of, confusing and frustrating.
And here it is, the whole thing in one place. It all starts with setting expectations right off the bat. Then, during the interaction, the AI has to be aware of context and social norms. When it gets something wrong, it needs to hand control back to you and explain itself. And finally, over time, it has to learn and adapt, but always cautiously and always with your feedback. So, when you boil it all down, building better AI isn't just about writing more complex code or chasing some perfect algorithm. The real secret, the thing that separates a delightful AI from a frustrating one, is thoughtful, empathetic, human-centric design. And that leaves us with one final thought. Now that you've got the playbook, you have this brand new way of looking at the technology in your own life. So the next time an app or a smart device drives you crazy, ask yourself, which one of these rules is it breaking?